Hey guys, I'm Cassandra Bodzak. Thanks for tuning in for another LightMAYker video. I'm excited to be with you right here. We're in Washington Square Park. Decided to take you along on my park day today. And today's video is really special to me because I'm making a big announcement that I haven't shared publicly yet. And it's all about making tough decisions, and thereby we're going to talk about accessing your intuition, because that is really our superpower when it comes to making big decisions. So I'm going to take you through three of my top tips, I guess, for really accessing your intuition and making a big decision. And I realized this video is really important to me because I've gotten so many emails from you guys over the years, and one of the most common questions I get asked is usually revolving around big decision. And they're all different decisions in your lives, but whether it's about a move or a relationship or taking the leap and starting your own career, it always comes down to what should I do? Like, what do you think is the best way for me to decide? And instead of me giving you my opinion on that, which really isn't as helpful, I really want you to learn how to access your intuition so that you can make those decisions from a heart-centered place that's really going to serve your highest good. Because we all have, our own answers, and the answers is inside. So it's really about accessing your own inner wisdom and not really asking for the wisdom of others, which is something that we're so used to doing. So the big decision that I recently made was to move across the country to Santa Monica, California next fall. And I'm really excited about it, but it wasn't a decision that came easily. As much as I was really guided towards it and it felt like it was really expansive, there were a lot of things that popped up along the way that made it a little bit tougher than I had expected. And towards the final week, I was really in a place of scratching my head about it and weighing the options, because I felt a lot of obligation to stay on the East Coast because my family's here and I love my family and I've been here all my life. And also, of course, it would have been the quote-unquote easier option, I suppose. Would have saved me some money and probably just been an easier thing to do. And then the West Coast was, obviously is much more of a project. I'm going to have to organize a lot of things, get all my stuff to California and find a place out there and start fresh out there. So it is a bigger undertaking. So I was weighing it back and forth. And let me just jump in and kind of show you through the tools how I made my decision. So one, I asked myself, well, how does this feel in my body? Like, how does, really put yourself in each place? So for me it was, how does staying in New York and being here next November feel? If it's, starting a business for you or staying in a relationship or whatever it may be, ask yourself, okay, so a couple of months down the line after this crunch time has passed, how is that decision going to feel then? So when I really sat with myself and felt it, that feeling kind of felt really heavy is the best way I can describe it. It felt heavy. And when I sat with it and thought, okay, how am I going to feel in November once all the craziness is gone and I'm just settled in and I'm living in California? And it felt light and it felt expansive and it felt exciting. And so that was my first information, pretty much, as far as I already knew that I had been drawn to. So first of all, your first bit of intuition is that if you've been drawn to whatever it is, that in and of itself is usually a sign. So the idea of moving to Santa Monica might not have even occurred to me if it wasn't, if it wasn't planted there for me to perhaps fully realize something I really wanted to do. But sometimes, as much as we can acknowledge that, we can still be kind of sitting with with a decision because of all like the logical and logistical things about it. So maybe you have that, there's that seed that was planted about like, maybe I want to start my own blog, or I want to start my own wellness business, or maybe this relationship I'm in right now is not serving me to my highest good anymore. Those seeds are not random. So it's honoring that those thoughts are there for a reason. So next step, okay, so now let's envision both scenarios and just sit with your body and not, this is very much like a body reaction. So, our bodies don't lie. They're actually, great truth tellers, and they're a great way to really access our intuition from a very powerful place. When we feel it in our body, we really know what's aligned with us. So we envision ourselves in the two scenarios. And then the next step is you can feel free to ask for signs. And I know that a lot of people do this, and it's fun. I find it fun. Where you can be like, okay, so I'm leaning this way. I feel like this one feels like this one feels like this, but I need more confirmation from the universe that this is in my highest good. So I asked for signs. For me, the signs I got were really funny. So I asked for a sign, and literally, I asked for a sign. I'm walking out of my apartment later that day to go to yoga class or whatever I'm doing, and I stubbed my toe on a corner. And because I stubbed my toe, I had to turn and look and see this sign. And the sign says, "Make your move." And it was funny because it was one of those moments where I had asked for the sign and then forgotten that I had asked for the sign. It was kind of in my own little world listening to a podcast on my way to yoga. And so I read it, and I didn't really even think anything of it. And then I was like, oh my God, make your move. But of course, is one sign ever enough for us? No, we're sign beasts, right? So I asked for another sign. I was like, okay, I got that sign, but what if that was a coincidence? Give me one more sign so I know that it's for sure. And later that afternoon, I got an email about a job in LA, not just a one-time speaking job, but still, it was a sign that okay, LA was popping through my inbox, and this was not something that happens every day that someone from LA reaches out to me with an invitation. And so that was two. And so I was like, okay, so the signs. And then, but the thing is, the best sign of all is really our feelings, is really tuning in and having that feeling that without a doubt this is the right thing, right? That's what we all look for. And that is something that we cultivate through daily meditation practice, through having a connection with our inner guidance system, through our spiritual life. So, and that's the greatest sign of all, in my opinion. So it was later that afternoon when I was meditating that I got the, really confirmation guidance that, my whole body was electrified by this idea that I need to go to California. And I really saw myself there, and I saw some really exciting things that are going to happen for me out there. And I knew without a doubt that that was my decision, and all the logical stuff could just float away because I knew what my path was. That's a beautiful place when you come to it. And you really, once you get there and you really feel that in your body, you don't have second doubts anymore. Everything else just kind of floats away. So that's how my process came to be. Those are some of my, tips at a glance for you in this short video that's already going pretty long. But I just want to add before we wrap up that there have been decisions in my life where I had followed these steps. I had been really pushing myself to make a decision on it, and the decision wasn't ready to be made. And if you're in a situation where it's not a time-sensitive decision, you're not about to, sign or not re-sign on your apartment, you have a little bit of time to make a decision about this. You're thinking about leaving a job or a relationship or starting a business. If it was sorry, I'm in Washington Square Park right now. I hope the sound is okay on this. But anyway, so if you're in a place where you have some time and you don't have to force yourself to make a decision right away, then I do highly recommend just sitting with it. putting that decision out and allowing the universe to push you each way, and just keep following what feels expansive. When I was in the process between transitioning from my prior career to, doing more coaching and blogging full time, there were many months where I really wanted to push that decision, and it was scary and I didn't know what to do. And I got some really important guidance that was just like, keep doing both. Keep doing what feels good. And then eventually one will fall away when the time will come. And so if you're in that place where you're like, I've done all those steps, Cass, I still don't know, I still am not getting clear guidance on what's right for me, then that's fine. You're at the perfect place right now, and just be open to that moment-to-moment guidance for what feels expansive in that day and that moment, and keep following that little guidance, and you can trust that you'll be on your path. So thank you guys for tuning in. I'm really excited to also announce that I'm offering an Accessing Your Intuition workshop this month. It's an online workshop. It'll be an hour and a half, and I'll be taking you through in much more depth how to really have a connection with your inner GPS so that you can make your best decisions. This is something that's been so incredibly important to me in my personal life, in my professional life. I've made my best business decisions by tuning into my inner compass, and same thing with my personal life as well. But I think it's a really important concept, and it's very useful in so many ways that I thought it was really important to do a workshop on this. So I'm doing it online because I want it to be available for all of you guys. And if you can't make the exact time, I believe it is July 23rd, but I'll include a link below. If you can't make the exact time, I'll be sending out recordings, both audio and video, so that you can listen to it or watch it after. I'll also be answering any questions you have, so feel free to check that out below. I really hope you'll join us for Accessing Your Intuition. It's going to be a really magical workshop, and I'm excited to share all this information with you and help you figure out your own answers inside and get in touch with your own guru, because you are your own guru. Thanks, guys. Have a great day. Don't forget to subscribe for more LightMAYker videos right here on YouTube. Bye.